Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests. A few days ago, I was pleased to welcome you to the opening ceremony of the 23rd International Congress of Historical Sciences, Poznań 2020-2022. Today, we gathered here to close the event, because unfortunately, it's coming to an end. Thank you for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, time now to begin the ceremony. I would like to welcome you to the announcement of the best authors of the outstanding posters. 27 posters were accepted for poster presentation. The authors come from 3 continents and represent a dozen or so universities. The most outstanding posters were chosen by 5-person jury. Gunlock För from Linnaeus University in Sweden. Audrey Kichelewski from Université de Strasbourg in France. Liu Jiafeng from Shandong University in China. Edoardo Tortarolo from Università del Piemonte Orientale in Italy. And Agnieszka Jakuboszczak from Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznań. The prizes for the winners are... Thank you. The prizes for the winners are funded by Shandong University. The $10,000 award will be divided among 5 recipients. First place, $3,500. Second place, $2,500. The third place, $2,000. Honorable mention, $1,000. And special distinction, $1,000 for the author of the best poster dealing with the Chinese history. We are very proud to announce the winners of mentioned prizes. Let me invite Catherine Orell, President of SISH, and Robert Frank, the representative of the Shandong University, who will award prizes to the winner. Let me invite also Agnieszka Jakuboszczak. The floor is yours.
Dzień dobry. Good morning. It's a nice morning. It's a sad one too, because we are leaving. We are leaving our marvelous friends from Poland, marvelous organizers. So thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful Congress in Poznań. I am very honored to be awarding the prizes to the poster students. It is said that I am the representative of the Shandong University. Am I honored by that? Am I happy by that? Yes and no. No and yes. If I am the representative of a Chinese official authority, I am not very happy with that. But if I am representative of my friends of Shandong University, with whom I had the honor to organize the Jinan Congress, and in the organization of this Jinan Congress, Professor Liu Jiafeng had a marvelous role. He was the Makovsky of Jinan, or the Thomas Schramm of Jinan. And because of that, because he asked me, that's why it's a good morning. It's also a sad morning for other reasons. Professor Liu Jiafeng is not here. The Chinese representatives are not here. The Chinese could not come. Professor Liu Jiafeng told me that he did not have the permission to come. Of course, the official reason is COVID. I won't say more, but you guess that times are difficult for Chinese intellectuals, that times are difficult for Chinese historians. Maybe some of you remember in Jinan, after the award ceremony to Serge Gruzinski, for the prize, I said a few words after this big and nice performance of ballet and singing on Confucius. The story of Confucius was told by us by music, dance, etc. It was wonderful. So of course I said that it was wonderful, and I add, oh, by the way, good news, Confucius is back in China. And since Confucius is back in China, China is open to the world. Let us hope that the world will be open to China. And I added, well, that's the proof here in Jinan. China is open to the world, and historians of all the world are open to China. 2015. We are now in 2022. I was invited, professor in Jinan, next year, 2017, the year after, 2017, 2018, and in 2018, I understood a huge change in China. A huge change. It was already, of course, an authoritarian regime, but it was a more authoritarian regime after the 19th Congress of the Chinese Party. What was possible in 2015 is unfortunately not possible now. Just to remind that, nonetheless, Professor Liu Jiafeng, and I think we can be grateful from, in spite of this difficult situation, he managed to honor and respect the contract. The Shandong University wanted to grant the prize to the posters. Just a few words on the evolution of the siege since a few years. Many positive changes. First change, thanks to the host of Amsterdam, the beginning of the Solidarity Fund. And we have to give honor the people who have to give credit where credit is due. It's Pim Den Boon, who was the man who had this idea, and it still continues. In Jinan University, before Jinan University, it was decided to give a prize, a sort of Nobel Prize, and it's still there, so evolution. Credit has to be given where it is due. It was under the presidency of Marietta Yetala that I thank warmly. I was then the General Secretary, but credit must be given where it is due, where credit is due. It's Pascal Cauchy, the Secretary General Adjoint, my deputy, who had the idea. Same thing for the Posters Award. Credit must be given where it is due. As we say in French, rendre à César ce qui revient à César. The idea was proposed in the Budapest General Assembly by Gunlog Four, and I think she's here, and thanks to her. And the Shandong University took after the turn and said, well, we're going to finance. So that's all I have to say. So I'm very honored with Catherine Noël to award the prize for the future. That means the students who are our future. Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, special distinction for the author of the best poster dealing with the Chinese history goes to Xiaona Guo from Jiangnan University. the author of the poster Gentes, Shizu, and Patrilineal Families in the Research Field of Ancient Chinese History in the 1930s and 1940s. Unfortunately, she couldn't come. We hope she's online. Congratulations, Shauna Guo. Honorable mention goes to Taina Mendonça Marino, PhD student from Doctoral School of Humanities from Adam Mickiewicz University, the author of the poster The Role of Empathy in Contemporary Historical Thinking, a transcultural and transspecies approach. Taina Mendonça Marino from Adam Mickiewicz University, honorable mention. The third place, Fernanda Mendes Santos from Universidade Federal de Minas Gerais, Brazil. She is the author of the poster Indigenous Prisons During the Brazilian Military Dictatorship, 1969 to 1979. Fernanda Mendes Santos, third place. Second place, ex aequo, Szymon Antosik from Doctoral School of Humanities from Adam Mickiewicz University and Helena Rzepczyńska from Doctoral School of Natural Sciences from Adam Mickiewicz University, the authors of poster Did Rich Families Favor Sons? Evidence from the 15th century city of Poznań. Helena Rzepczyńska couldn't be with us, so we have Szymon Antosik. Szymon Antosik, Helena Rzepczyńska, the laureates of the second prize. And now time for the winner. And the winner is Shenxi Liu from Humboldt-Universität zu Berlin. She is the author of poster Racist Discourse in Former Socialist Countries, a case study on Mao Zedong's declaration of supporting African. Shenxi Liu from Humboldt-Universität zu Berlin, the winner, first place. Thank you very much, Catherine Orel, Frank. Robert Frank and Agnieszka Jakubosztak. Dziękuję. I would like to extend my warmest congratulations on your achievement, and I wish you even more success for in the future. I would now like to give the floor to Catherine Orell and Eduardo Tortarolo, the President and the General Secretary of CISH. Professor will summarize the Congress and present prospects of the CISH's activity.
I will start on a very personal note. It has been my 6th CISH Congress since 1995 in Montreal, and by far the one that has taken place in the most dramatic circumstances. In this joyful and peaceful morning, we tend to forget what is happening around us. After a 2 years long pandemic and the attack on Ukraine, it has been quite an achievement that the 23rd Congress of CISH has been successfully concluded, and you are evidence that this is a fact. The local organizing committee has done a tremendous job in providing the participants with the optimal conditions and an exquisite hospitality. This is not the time and place to analyze in detail the topics that the distinguished historians have been discussing for 1 week and the approaches to the past developed during the fruitful 5 days of the Congress. There are so many lessons learned that will take up some time to digest and really understand what has been put forward. New conceptual ways to understand and make sense of complexity of the past have been proposed and discussed, as we all know. The major themes have focused on relevant aspects of the contemporary perception of the world, human and non-human. The enduring perception that history must have a global perspective has been discussed, although with an increasing interest in form of coexistence that emphasize diversity and peculiarity rather than the homogeneity inherent in the notion of globality as we usually use it. We will have all time to reflect on these topics and with the insightful thoughts shared with us by the distinguished speakers at the opening ceremony. And I want to list them: Professor Olofunka Adeboye, Professor Dipesh Chakrabarti, and Professor Eva Domańska, and by the CISH laureate, Professor Sanjay Subramanian. Let me, however, recall that has been prominent in the previous week, something that really will stay with me for a very long time. The first remark comes from the prize that has just been awarded. I don't want to comment on the quality of the posters, which, by the way, was really excellent. I want to draw your attention once again to the fact that the future is indeed founded on the past, and knowing the past is essential for living a good life. But it is also important, at least as important as that, to give the past and the people who study the past a bright future. Acknowledging the merits of young scholars is crucial to our discipline, and the 23rd Congress of CISH has done an excellent job in that respect. The second remark is that the extraordinarily heartfelt hospitality of our colleagues at the University Adam Mickiewicz has restored a sense of community, of oikumene, of the historians that the long pandemic and the tragic events not far from here had eclipsed. It has been refreshing to enjoy the company of so many bright fellow historians and restore this much-needed sense of sharing and communal living together in scholarship among kindred spirits. Therefore, dziękuję bardzo, do zobaczenia w Jerozolimie. Thank you.
Dzień dobry, dear colleagues, chers collègues, chers amis, Madame le Recteur, Mesdames et Messieurs. I will make somehow French and English together. I will not add anything substantial to what Eduardo Tortarolo just said, because I think I completely share what he expressed about our feelings, our emotions. During the Congress, there were some very emotional moments, I must say, to begin with the opening ceremony, with the words of Ewa Domańska, with this wonderful choir we had the opportunity to hear, and of course, above all, the joy, the immense joy to be again all together, really to be able to smile to each other, to shake hands, and to talk to each other without a screen between us. So it has been really a very impressive Congress against all odds that we were together with Mathieu for a paar minutes, and we said 7 years and 7 days have separated us from the last Congress. So of course we hope that by reducing the time to 4 years, we will be able to meet even quicker in Jerusalem. I would also like to thank all our members, national committees, international commissions. I must say that I was yesterday and the day before in the commissions meetings at Morasco campus. I was impressed in the end by the number of commissions who did their own conferences. It was really a wonderful moment going in the various rooms where the commissions were having their meetings. Many good papers were given online and in reality. So I would like to tell you that we will meet in Tokyo in October somehow 2024, and this is also a very important thing, that we go very global, as you can see, by going to Tokyo in 2004, and this will be, as you know, the step before the Congress in Jerusalem. So, Bekarov, Anachenu, Holeihim, Yerushalayim.
Let me hand over the floor to Bogumiła Kaniewska, director of Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznań, and Tomasz Schramm, co-presidents of Organizing Committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, all the participants of the 23rd International Congress of Historical Sciences. It's really over. It's hard to believe, but it is. The 23rd International Congress of Historical Sciences has come to an end, which is also the beginning of preparation for the next meeting in Jerusalem. We bid farewell to our guests in the hope that the days which you spent in Poznań will live on in your memories as memorable, interesting, inspiring, and enjoyable days, despite the weather, which surprised us, because it's completely unusual for our country, for this part of Europe. But I hope that you took this hot weather as the sign of it, how warmly we welcomed you here in Poznań at Adam Mickiewicz University. It was a great congress which concentrated on the presentation of results of newest research during nearly 100 thematic sessions, several major themes, joint sessions, round tables. I'm especially happy about this poster session, which encouraged students and junior researchers to contribute the results of the investigation. Congratulations for the winners. I'm convinced that the many of the youngest Congress participants will have a significant impact of the shape of the humanities in the time to come. And the future ahead us is quite complex, requiring wisdom, prudence, reflection. We must meet these challenges by drawing lessons from the past. I also like to thank you for this Solidarity Fund, which help to fund travel costs of several dozen representatives from different countries. And I'm also very happy that the International Committee of Historical Science Board granted financial assistance to researchers from Ukraine, where this totally senseless war is now taking place. Poland has been giving her helping hand to Ukraine refugees in an exceptional manner. Once again, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all those who have contributed to the organization of the Congress. First of all, I would like to thank International Committee of Historical Science Board, Ms. President Catherine Orell, for the confidence you placed in our university. Poznań in Poland by entrusting us with the organization of the Congress. I would also like to thank the city and voivodeship authorities, as well as all the institutions that they were involved in the preparation and made Poznań the world capital of historical science for 1 week, and I hope we fulfill this function with dignity. I would like to thank everyone who supported this great undertaking in terms of organization, content, and funding. But allow me to express my warmest thanks to the staff, doctoral students, and students of Adam Mickiewicz University. I thank for your work, for the many years of effort and endeavor, for the time you devoted to organizing the Congress and overcoming difficulties. This event has gone down in the history of Adam Mickiewicz University forever, and it's to your credit, your contribution to the development of our university. Most of all, I thank all members of the organizing committee with Professor Schramm and Professor Makowski on the forefront, but all the other members also. My thanks also go to over 50 volunteers who were not only helpful, but they also create the most youthful image of our country. Really. These young people, their presence everywhere in the city, in the center of the city, create really very beautiful image, and they give us hope in young people who are able to change the future. Let me repeat one sentence from my welcoming speech. I know it was not easy, but you managed, and the dream of Adam Mickiewicz University professors and the dream of members of the organizing committee came true. And now I would like to wish all the guests not only nice memories after your staying in Poznań. I hope that it will be some occasion for you to come back here to this beautiful town, which will be already more modernized. What will happen? And to all of us, I wish we can meet in better times when we will feel more safe, and in times in which we will feel that we learned a lot from history and from people who were able to comment the history in such wise way as you. Thank you very much.
Magnificent Rector of Adam Mickiewicz University, dear President of the International Committee of Historical Sciences, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, Magnificence Madame la Recteur de l'Université de Poznań, Madame la Présidente du Comité international des sciences historiques, Mesdames et Messieurs, chers collègues. 7 days ago, I had the honor of speaking in this very same place at the opening ceremony of the 23rd International Congress of Historical Sciences. I hope that, at least in part, the wishes I made then to our guests have come true. These days have passed quickly. They were intense, rich in many events that the Congress itself brought and that accompanied it. When it is now coming to an end, it provokes thoughts that both summarize it and are formulated directly without any temporal distance, which brings also mental and emotional distance. My present thoughts have to do with the fact that I've been interviewed several times in connection with the Congress. I think that I was most often asked two questions. One was, what will the Congress be about? And the other, what are these Congresses for? The first of questions reflects the way the journalists think, which I by no means reproach them for. As you can guess, I said that it was impossible to give an answer covering around 100 panels, not to count the poster session and the research forum. The second question was posed from the perspective of the common listener, the one who is not even particularly interested in it, but who simply comes across such information while listening to the radio or watching TV. But the question, what are these congresses for, is one we also ask ourselves and take very seriously. This was, for instance, the topic of the session entitled International Congresses of Historical Sciences, Chances and Challenges, which took place during the visit of the ICHS board to Poznań in June 2018. We know that there are scholars who approach such large congresses with reserve and simply do not attend them. This is not a new attitude. It was represented, for example, by Mark Bloch. But I was answering the questions on behalf of those who want to come to the congresses and do come, as I do myself. And along with other arguments, I emphasized two inherent features of such face-to-face meetings. One is that besides the sessions that you attend as an organizer or speaker, there are also those that you come to have by chance, having found that they are interesting and within reach. And it is then that you can hear about unknown things that surprise you and sometimes fascinate you. You can meet views that make you agree enthusiastically or protest vigorously. I saw it. You can meet concepts that you would never come to your mind. This is also possible through reading or online contact, but direct contact is something else. Also because, and this brings me to my second argument, that those meetings are easily accompanied by an atmosphere of conviviality, cordiality, which gives rise to international, sometimes transoceanic friendships, and allows the old ones to be maintained. As said one of my friends, when you are in a community, you have to be together. World Congresses undoubtedly offer the widest range of such opportunities. Excuse me. The Poznań Congress was the first to be held in the hybrid mode. It was not originally planned in this form. This happened in the context of the COVID pandemic, posing a new organizational and technical challenge. This issue has been reinforced since Russia's ongoing aggression against Ukraine. The state-imposed IT system security standards did not allow us to share IT networks as widely as we had originally planned. Among other things, it brought lessons for the future on how to prevent or limit several problems. Yes, for the future. I've heard more than once in the last days that we have entered with this hybrid form a path from which there is no return. But I confess that personally I feel melancholic about this. I will not, however, call for participation in the 24th Congress to be possible only directly, for all online connections to be cut off. It is not a wish towards the organizers, but a dream, nostalgic and unrealizable. I want, however, close those days that are coming to an end in a different mood, by thanking all those whose work and commitment we could benefit from. The authorities and the staff of Adam Mickiewicz University stand here in the first place. Next to them, it is impossible not to mention the local authorities of the region and of the city, as I've done in my inaugural speech. Turning to those whose direct dedication influenced the shape of the Congress, I again turn first to the members of the executive department, for most of whom are the unfailing three, Professor Krzysztof Makowski and his closest aide, Ms. Karolina Filipowska, and as Professor Maciej Michalski. As it is now possible to mention everyone by name, I will now only list the institutions involved in the Congress, thanking their staff and collaborators. Poznań International Fair and for organizing the Congress background, Poznań Supercomputing and Networking Center and Click Meeting Company for their IT support, Trust Foundation for the artistic setting of the Congress, the authorities and employees of the Faculty of History of Adam Mickiewicz University for their support in all possible fields, Poznań Local Tourist Organization, and many other institutions that supported us and helped to organize the 23rd International Congress of Historical Sciences in Poznań for the last several years. I follow Her Magnificence, and I do it with great stress in thanking our volunteers working with us and helping us during those hectic days and even before, of course. On behalf of all those who were committed to the preparation and execution of the Congress, I would like to address the participants, our guests. Thank you for coming to Poznań, for your presence, and for many kind words we've heard from you. In closing, I would like to address the organizers of the 24th International Congress of Historical Sciences, Jerusalem 2026. We know the challenge you face, and we have no doubt you will master it with excellence. We wish you this with all our hearts. I declare the 23rd International Congress of Historical Sciences to have closed. Je déclare que le 23e Congrès international des sciences historiques est clos. Thank you. Je vous remercie.
I warmly welcome Shmuel Feiner, the representative of Israeli Organizing Committee, and invite him to tell us about the next Congress, which will be held in Jerusalem in 2026.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shabbat Shalom. Following Eduardo's remark about the future, this future of all of us and the future of our profession, the other day I was asked by my granddaughter, "Grandpa, what are you doing there in Poznań for such a long time?" So my answer was, "We are taking care of your future, dear." And I believe that this is the basic idea behind the establishment of the SISH almost 100 years ago. So I would like to start by expressing my deep gratitude to the organizers of the Poznań Congress. There are so many challenges for them to engage with, and I'm sure that you all agree it was a most successful and enjoyable meeting of the global community of historians. So thank you so much for the wonderful hospitality. It is a great honor for me to be speaking here today as the representative of the next host of the SISH Congress. On behalf of the Historical Society of Israel, I would like to thank you again, the members of the General Assembly, for electing us to host the 24th Congress of the SISH in the year 2026. It will take place at the first time in the Middle East, first time in Jerusalem. It will be the occasion of the 100th anniversary of the SISH and also the 100th anniversary of the Hebrew University and the 102nd anniversary of our Historical Society. No doubt a most meaningful and exciting event. Our election was received with much enthusiasm in Israel. The entire academic community is already looking forward to welcome you. The municipality of Jerusalem realizes the importance of the visit of many historians from all over the world and is willing to assist us. There are some items about it in the Israeli media too. A few months ago, I was honored to speak with Mr. Yitzhak Herzog, the president of Israel. He has a deep interest in history and was very excited to hear that the next SISH conference will be held in Jerusalem. The president, who, as you may know, is not a political figure, but the representative of the state, was happy to accept my invitation to attend and address the opening ceremony on Sunday, July the 26th, the year 2026. Let me introduce the main partners of the Historical Society of Israel. The first is the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, founded in 1918 and opened officially in 1925, is Israel's premier university and its leading research institution. The Hebrew University is ranked internationally among the top 100 universities in the world and first among Israeli universities. The recognition that the Hebrew University has attained confirms its reputation for excellence and its leading role in the academic community. It stresses excellence and offers a wide range of study opportunities in the humanities, social sciences, exact sciences, and medicine. Its outstanding scholars have achieved impressive breakthroughs in a variety of disciplines. University academics publish frequently in prestigious scientific journals, and their research has gained outstanding awards in Israel and worldwide, including the Nobel Prize, the Fields Medal, and the Israel Prize, and the alumni hold key positions in academia and public service in Israel. In Jerusalem, the university maintains 3 campuses: the Mount Scopus campus and the Edmond Safra campus for exact sciences, the location of the 2026 Congress, and the En Karem campus for medical sciences. Our second partner is the Israel Academy of Sciences and Humanities, the national focal point for Israeli scholarship in both the natural sciences and the humanities. The Academy membership consists of 130 of Israel's most distinguished scientists and scholars who monitor and promote Israeli intellectual excellence, advise the government on scientific planning, fund and publish research of lasting merit, and maintain active contact with the broader international scientific and scholarly community. The third main partner is the Salman Chazal Center, a public benefit corporation established by the government of Israel to disseminate knowledge and raise historical consciousness about the history of the Jewish people and advance the study of Jewish history in all its aspects and periods. And it's important that when I said established by the government, doesn't mean that they have any say in the academic field. We are all the academia in Israel, all the institutions, the university, the Academy of Sciences, and the Chazal Center. We are all independent, autonomous, and we enjoy the freedom of study, publishing, etc. But we have also the support of other strong partners, among them the highly esteemed Institute for Advanced Studies, the new and amazing National Library, the Yad Vashem Institute for the Study of the Holocaust, and many more. And by Jerusalem, I already said a little something about it in the reception that we held a few days ago, but I'm going to repeat it. So Jerusalem is a city with a history stretching back thousands of years, and that is apparent in its very streets and stones. Every brick and stone is loaded with history. Its many and diverse archaeological sites reflect this long history, which encompasses the stories of the various empires, societies, and major cultures that have shaped its human past. Jerusalem's streets contain vestiges from the days of the Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, Hellenists, Romans, and of course the Crusaders and the Abbasid, Umayyad, Ottoman and British empires, right up to modern times. We'll make sure that the Congress will reflect this cultural and historical richness and make full use of relevant local sites to study and illustrate the issues being explored. Along with our partners, we will spare no efforts to ensuring that it will be a most successful Congress prepared by the highest professional level and in full compliance with the SISH rules and requirements. We believe that the historical city of Jerusalem is the best place to celebrate the 100th anniversary of this remarkable organization with the goodwill and best intention to bring together historians from all over the world. But Jerusalem is not only history. Beyond the old city walls lies a new Jerusalem with the best feature of Israel's startup nation and modern life, culture, nightlife, and dining. Jerusalem's unique history, modern infrastructure, the Jerusalem Silicon Valley, and well-developed tourism industry make the city a premier conference destination, allowing tens of thousands of participants enjoy the perfect mix of professional development and cultural exploration. So what do we offer? The program of the SISH conference that will take place in Jerusalem will make innovative use of the city's rich historical space. Sessions will be held, among other places, in the Jerusalem Citadel, the Shrine of the Book, at the Israel Museum, home to the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Monastery of the Cross, a medieval Greek Orthodox monastery, and the Jerusalem Archaeological Park. During the conference, there will be enrichment activities designed to highlight the connection between the city's history and its spaces. Connecting historical texts and spaces, prominent young researchers will lead tours based on historical texts written in or about Jerusalem. Among the texts at the center of the activity will be the Bible, Josephus Flavius, chronicles and descriptions by medieval European pilgrims, and texts about Jerusalem by Muslim travelers and writers. Beyond the official program, Jerusalem has many more surprises for the participants and their companions. Distinguished researchers in the relevant fields will introduce the important collections and major archives preserved in Jerusalem. Among the collection to be viewed, Isaac Newton manuscripts collection, the Franz Kafka archives, the Dead Sea Scrolls, Albert Einstein archives, and many more. The Congress will give opportunity to the participants and their companions to explore other parts of Israel, from the desert of the Negev up to the Sea of Galilee. In conclusion, we believe that Israel in general and Jerusalem in particular have all that it takes to host the Congress in a most successful manner. I can guarantee this will be the summer that the sky will be completely blue. There is no chance for a cloud, not white, not black cloud, no chance for a drop of rain. And hopefully, and we really pray for it, that by 2026, by the summer that you'll be coming to Jerusalem, there will be no cloud of a war, there will be no cloud of the pandemic, there will be no cloud of the politics of hate and racism, which is unfortunately prevailing today in many, many countries. So, dear fellow historians, we look forward to welcoming you in Jerusalem in 2026. Thank you very much.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, let the music speak. But first, let me introduce our artists. Pavel Kowalski is one of the most talented Polish musicians. He studied piano in Cologne, Warsaw, and Vancouver on a personal grant from Witold Lutosławski.